Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Oghuview, where I like to talk about the games I played on this channel. And in this one I'm going to talk about, you could say, two games, might be a double feature. The Warhammer Inquisitor games, which are Martyr, the base game if you want, and Prophecy, which is a standalone DLC, but that fits into the game as well. Both played on PS5. Now, I do want to say some things before starting this. For one, I am not the biggest expert on these kinds of games. I like them, I enjoy them, I really enjoy playing them together with my wife, who likes this kind of games too, but I'm not the most savvy in every parts of it, so if you're looking for that, maybe there are more in-depth reviews out there that are more fitting to what you need. But I hadn't used my L1. Must have done so. Oh, execute, nice. Also, I want to point out one thing. Although these are technically two games, I personally see them as one, like a base game and its expansion. But I wanted to mention that there is the option for playing expansion as its own thing. So if I don't specifically point it out, then you can see it as like something I'm saying about both Martyr and Prophecy.
Into their rotten hearts.
The Drukhari breached Section Theta 7, so they will have to cut through here on their way to the vaults.
Well, they can try. There is a maintenance hole ahead. We could take up defensive positions there.
This brings me to the big difference of them two. Well, for one, there's the story difference. Of course, I mean, Prophecy is like a continuation of Martyr, but also you can only play the three main classes if you own the main game, and the fourth if you own Prophecy. The main classes are the Crusader, the Assassin, and the Psyker. I played as a melee Crusader and had a lot of fun of it. The Assassin is like more of a damage dealer who doesn't take too much damage himself, whereas the Crusader is a tank-like one who can take a lot of damage, but also dish out some, I have to say. Comms. Darn it, that's bad. That's really bad when the enemy can hear you, he knows what you're up to, and that's a huge plus on their side. An incredibly huge one. I did not dabble too much with the Psyker, but it seems like he's also like a mage character, which means like a lot of damage dealing with his psychic abilities, but he can also be very good at ranged, it seems. The fourth one is the Adeptus Mechanicus character, who is more of like a summoner or pet character, who has a lot of units that help him fighting your enemies. I think all four of them are very fun, but I personally just like the Crusader the most, and I wanted to start with one of the main classes first. And there is also a reason for that. Be aware that if you play the game with the Adeptus Mechanicus character, there is one chapter you can play which the other characters can't play, but vice versa, you cannot play any of the story chapters from the main campaign. Which is a bit of a bummer, I have to say. I mean, I can see why this happens, and I also have to say that in regards to mission structure and stuff, I really saw a difference between the main game and the DLC, the DLC game, the add-on. Let's call it the add-on. The main game and the add-on. There were quite some differences there. I enjoyed both for what they were, but they were really different. For example, in the add-on, you do have a lot of more missions where you get turrets you can activate to help you. Okay, Muslim Source Pirates. But now let's go away from the differences and let's go to the stuff that is similar to each other. Both games are very atmospheric, very good looking also, but I have to say I did take some time to get used to the camera angle. It's quite steep and I would have loved to, well, just tilt it a little bit. Not closer, That was fine, but just tilting it a little bit. I had a feeling like there was always something just out of my whistle range. But for the rest, the graphics were fine, especially for this kind of game. And since I played on PS5, I did not have any slowdown issues. I think for the most part, at least. Also played in performance mode, so maybe that was one of the reasons. As for sound and music, I have to say it's a mixed bag, and I'm not sure why, because the sound design is great, the voice actors are good, let's say they really tried, they really try it, and you can hear it, but as well as the music and the atmosphere and everything, it's good, but there's something missing and I can't put my finger on it. Something is missing. I really enjoyed it. This is not a grab against the game. It's just that I think there is something missing to make it great. So it's only good, but not in a bad way. It's just that I think there's some wasted potential here.
From leaving this place, Inquisitor, but I'll stay in contact with you all along the way.
Okay. If he wants, then... Ah, there was a chest. Didn't see it. As for controls, I was really happy with the controls, although I have to say, I did read on the internet that a lot of people seems to had better experiences with switching the control screen. And I thought, well, let's try this out. And yeah, I have to say they're right. Mapping all the action buttons on the upper shoulder buttons is better and should be the standard way to play this, to be honest. I really think most people will enjoy this game even more if they can do it playing it like that. Okay. But out of here. In regards to the story, I think I will put this out there, and that's something for both games. The story isn't too great. Please don't hate me for it. I think it's good enough. I think they really tried something there, but I think it goes hand in hand with the missed potential. It's just something is missing. Maybe it's also because I really enjoy 40k. The stuff that was in there just wasn't the stuff I really liked. Maybe it was that. I'm not really sure. The story is fine for the most part. Really is. Although the whole thing with the Alpha Pariah and stuff is... it's a bit weird sometimes, but it's okay. Also, just for your information, and I think that's a big disclaimer there, it's quite open-ended. And I understand why. I can really see why they wanted it to be open-ended. But not everybody likes that, so be aware of that if you start this game. But it does seem to work out, my loadout against them. As for the gripes I have with this game, well, yes, I have some. Especially two. For one, except if you buy like a complete edition that is discounted or something, this game and all of its DLCs is very expensive. 60 bucks for the game, I think 30 bucks for the DLC, and then there are extra DLCs, so you can easily go to like 120, 130 euros or dollars or your original equivalent without breaking a sweat. It's very often on sale, there are complete editions out there and stuff, so you don't have to pay as much, but just as a reminder, this game is, in relation to other games, very expensive if you look at it that way. A must-have. Well, I still have the bolter at least. Okay, now we will... I need a double-handed weapon. So the other big gripe I have, and that's a very personal one, is that you can't really play this game couch co-op on console. Yes, there is a way where player 1 is like the Inquisitor and player 2 is like one of his minions, but it's just not fun that way, because the second character has no progression, and that's a bad thing. That's a very bad thing. It's to me personally, I'm always on the side of the rule of awesome and fun. If it's I was a DM for some time, and I always where it's like, okay, if it's even halfway decently makeable and fun and awesome, okay, go for it. And just like they cut out the Adeptus Mechanicus character from the main game. Why? Don't do that. Leave him in there. Give him an extra act if you want, okay, that's fine. But then on the other hand, why not let the others play it? It's about having fun. So why not let me and, in my case, my wife, play together through the campaign? On the same system. I think you can do it on PC, so if you're playing it on PC, this might not be as big as a problem. But please, if you make this kind of game, put couch co-op in. I really think those games really benefit from that. Jumping in and annihilating anyone and everyone.
Puny mortal, you cannot hurt.
My ears are bleeding. I must stop this Emperor from sacred noise.
As for trophies and or achievements, well, I have to say I'm not the biggest fan. Those kind of games tend to be very grind heavy. That's just the way it is, that's how those games are. Trophies or achievements are so as well, and that's fine. So if you want to go out there, just prepare for that. Also, there is at least one really hard one. If I remember correctly, there is a trophy / achievement for getting through the game in hardcore mode. Hardcore mode means die, your character gets erased. Yeah, that might take some preparation. So I think they're all doable, but be prepared for a challenge and a grind. So maybe only play through the game. I think this will be more fun this way.
What do you know about finding true purpose in your ways?
How did they know about the Alpha Pariah?
It is indeed a most pressing question. We cannot leave her unguarded. The Drukhari have proven that they are the masters of ambush, and they can strike with their cloaked vessels from the webway. From now on, you are on constant guard duty, Sergeant.
So, after all, would I recommend the game? To be honest, yes. With some extras. So for one, if you don't like this kind of game, and or are not a 40k fan, then maybe it's not your cup of tea. If you're either a fan of this genre or a 40k fan, I definitely think you will like this. If you're more like, I wanna know things about 40k, I don't think this is the game for you, because there's so much other lore and stuff. But if you want to dabble in, okay, you should wait for a sale though. And also, if you're really a super fan of 40k and or these kinds of games, wait for a sale. Don't pay 130 upwards, something around that, to get everything. Get the complete editions, wait for a sale on them. It's all fine and dandy, do that. And then I think you will have fun with it. I had fun, I really had fun. And I'm also thinking about maybe starting an Adeptus Mechanicus character just to see the one act I wasn't able to see. I would have really liked to see it at all. Yeah. I think it was their plan. They made me do it. Maybe it worked, maybe not. You guys will see. So, well, thank you guys very much for watching my Oghuview of Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr and Prophecy. I hope you liked what you've seen. Please leave a comment, share, like, subscribe, all the jazz. Helps the channel grow, makes my Oghupower happy. Also, if you have any suggestions and tips on the channel, games, whatever, please tell them. And yeah, it's all about the games. Have fun, do what you love. Have a nice day, my friends. Bye bye.